All right, guys. Well, welcome to Model Monday Live, and we are going to attempt to solve this thing using Fusion. We're going to do what we call a live solve using Fusion. And so the challenge that we're talking about was posted here on the TooTallToby website just a few minutes ago. It's a brand new challenge. It was just posted live here on the TooTallToby website. So if we go access full library, we can see here that we've got this library of hundreds of 2D to 3D challenges. If you like these kinds of 2D to 3D challenges, this is absolutely the place to go, the practice models library. And you can see that we can sort these challenges by difficulty, or we can sort these challenges by the type of model we want to do. Like if we're looking to get some sheet metal practice in, we could bring up a bunch of sheet metal challenges or 3D printable challenges or whatever it is that we want to do. But what's nice is that up here at the top, even if you have a totally free account, you can take a look at our featured models. And our featured models are sponsored by cadpractice.com. This is a sister website that we've put up to help STEM educators by giving them a nice library of these challenges that they can share with their students. And they can even set up a local leaderboard just for their students. So some fantastic information here, a great solution for any STEM or CTE educators. And we can see here that we've got some free challenges up here in this featured model section, including this one that we just posted, 26-06-01. This is the one we're going to try to solve today. And look at this. Even though we just posted this a few minutes ago, we've already had 10 people get in here and successfully solve this thing. Wow, that is impressive. Well, let's get in here ourselves and see if we can solve this. We're going to try to solve this using Fusion. So we're going to say click here to begin. And then at the end of the challenge, we'll take a look at the first 42 and we'll see who the first person was to solve this. And that person's going to earn a point on today's live episode of Model Monday Live. We're going to see here that we're going to say, our name is Toby, our CAD system is Fusion, and we're working here in the United States. So we're going to say reveal drawing and go. And so the question here is, what is the mass of this multi-body part or assembly in XX.XX grams? Now, before I actually jump into Fusion, before I actually jump into 3D CAD, anytime I see something, whether it's in the real world, like this USB plug here, whether it's in the real world or whether it's a drawing or a napkin sketch or whatever, I always try to come up with a basic game plan before I actually get started in 3D CAD. And so in the case of this model, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that my starting sketch is going to be this sketch here of a rectangle. So we've got this rectangular shape here, 33 by 21. That should be a good place to start. I think I might be tempted to put the fillet radius on that original sketch and then just take that whole sketch and extrude it up to 42 millimeters. Now, we see that this model utilizes centerline symmetry in two directions on this view. So because of that, I think my origin is just going to be right here, dead center, and I'll probably put that origin right here at the very bottom of the part. This might sound like it's kind of a trivial decision, but it's actually really important to decide where your origin is going to be before you even start sketching. But certainly when you make your first sketch, you really want that origin to help lock down all your geometry and allow you to create what we call fully defined sketches. So I'll create that rectangle, I'll add the fillets, I'll extrude it up to 42 millimeters. And then I think what I'll do is I'll just get this notch out of the way on the bottom. So I'll just go to the bottom here and create this little cut just so that I've got that cut. But the thing is, you'll notice that the model is hollow. So I'm going to perform a shell command. And what's cool, and a lot of people don't know this, is that when you're working in 3D CAD, when you're working in Fusion or in Onshape or FreeCAD SolidWorks, you can actually hollow out the part. You don't have to select any faces to remove. You can make the whole part hollow. So that's what I'm going to do. And then once that's hollowed out here to 2 millimeters wall thickness typical, then I'll make this cutaway here, just a rectangle, 12.5 by 5.1. And then I think I'll attack the top section. So for the top section, we'll notice here it says no clearance. Holes for the prongs are 6.3 by 1.5. So this view here, the prongs are hidden for clarity. Okay, what are the prongs? The prongs here are item number 2. Prong, item number 2. There's a quantity of 2. So now we know that the prongs are identical geometry. You know, sometimes in the United States, one of those prongs is a little wider and one is a little more narrow, but in this case, they're the exact same geometry. And then we notice here that there's no clearance for those prongs to pass through. So these holes are also 6.3 by 1.5. So what does that mean, 6.3 by 1.5? Well, if we look here at this view, we can see here that on this view, the prong is 1.5 wide. And then if we look here at this view, at the detail view, it's 6.3. So 6.3 by 1.5, and then that's going to give us that cut on the top part of the plastic. Then that should do it for the plastic part. And now all we have to do is create these prongs. So I think what I'll probably do is make a new sketch plane, offset up here to 16.2. new sketch plane. And then I'll create a rectangle. Maybe I could even reuse some of this geometry. I'll use like that project use function in Fusion. And then I'll take that and I'll extrude it down to the total length of the prong, 19.2, the total length of the prong. And then once I've got that, then I can get in here and do like a cut. And I can cut this shape away, and then maybe another cut here to cut these holes through. And then that should be it. I should be done with that model. Assign the correct materials to each of those bodies, and I should be good to go. So I know I took about 3.5 minutes there to come up with a game plan for this challenge, but I think it's always good to come up with a game plan before you get started. And if you agree, be sure to hit the like button on this video. So now I'm going to use this function here, open in a new window. That's a nice function here in the TooTallToby app. It lets you make this drawing a little bit larger, or in my case, drag it over to a second screen. And then I think I'm going to take this screen here and just move it over so that we can keep an eye on the timing here on the clock. And let's bring up Fusion and let's see if we can solve this thing. We're going to try and solve it on the first try if we can. So here we've got Fusion, and let me bring up my keyboard cam as well so you can see any keyboard shortcuts that I'm using as I go through this challenge. So we're in here in Fusion. We're going to start out with a new sketch here on the, I'm going to start out here on the top plane. So this XY plane, right click, create a sketch, and then I'm going to S key and I'm going to create a rectangle here. But you'll notice I only have the 2-point rectangle. So I think at this point I might consider adding center rectangle to my S key menu. So adding in center rectangle there, and then I could also even rearrange these so that center rectangles in a little bit more of a logical location. And that way, when I press S, I can just jump right into that center rectangle. And now I can use the auto dimensioning found in Fusion to help me along the way to get this thing defined. So it's going to be 33 wide, tab. So I'm using the tab key there, 21 high. And whoops, I did those backwards. Let me shift tab there. 21 high, 33 wide. So tab and shift tab to navigate between those two. I could even just keep pressing tab there. Okay, and then we can press enter, and boom, that sketch is nice and fully defined, fully constrained. Now, like I said, I might consider at this point adding a fillet as well. So S key here, and then I could search for my sketch fillet and add that to my S key menu as well. So, you know, anytime you've got a command that you feel like you're going to use over and over again, just press S, search for that command. You can add it to your menu here in Fusion. And so then I'm going to choose these two here, these two here, these two here, and these two here. And then the fillet radius shows up automatically. So I'm just going to kind of let go of my mouse, and then I'm just going to type in 6, enter. And you notice that gets all 4 of those fillets all in one shot. So now that we've got this thing fully constrained, fully defined, we're going to go to S key extrude. So I've added extrude to the S key menu here in Fusion. And then we're going to bring that up to a height of 42 and enter. And so by learning those workflows, you can really start to kind of get through Fusion quickly and really start to, to create this geometry quickly as you're working through Fusion, especially if you're just learning it. You just want to kind of like practice these reps so that you can keep getting through this faster and faster. So now we're at the point where it's time to add this kind of shelled out area, or this hollowed out area here. And it's really the entire body that gets hollowed out. So the way that you do that in Fusion is you go here to the shell command, so modify shell, and then you'll notice over here it says select faces or bodies. So what I can do here is I can just go into the folder for bodies, and then I can just click on this body 1. And so now the entire body is going to be shelled out. It's going to be shelled out to the inside, and then that wall thickness is going to be 2 millimeters, enter. And so now what we can do is we can switch into like a wireframe mode, like a control, let's say a control 6 here to view this thing. Whoops, control 6 to view this thing in wireframe, or control 7, excuse me, to view this thing in wireframe. So now you can see what that looks like when the whole thing is hollowed out. So we got that whole thing nice and hollowed out, and that is how you can use the shell command on an entire body. You do the shell command, then you pick the body over here. So just in case anybody didn't know that, now you know a little bit more about that. And let's continue going on here. I see in the chat, Hassan says, B. Perry, our times are so close. Happy to see more FreeCAD users in here. Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome to see all the FreeCAD users in here doing these challenges. So, all right, so we're going to continue on here, and we're going to go to our next feature, which is going to be that little cut on the bottom. So this face here, S key, begin a new sketch, S key, center rectangle. I'm glad I added that center rectangle because I'm using it again here. And this is going to be 5.1, whoops, 5.1, and then tab, and this is going to be 12.5, and enter. And now we're going to take that region there, and we're going to do an extrude. So S key extrude. And if we drag that down, it's going to be a boss. If we drag it up, it's going to be a cut, and enter. There we go. There you can again see that that thing is nice and hollow on the inside. And now we're going to do another cut up top here. So this face here, S key, begin a new sketch. S key, we're going to make another center rectangle. This one will be horizontal to the origin. We'll move this up here and we'll say this is going to be at 6.3, tab 1.5, enter. And then we can create a line here. This is a little recent trick that I shared with you guys. We can then right click on that, hit escape, right click on that line and say, make that line normal center line, not normal construction, but normal center line. Now, the reason that's important is because once you tag that as a center line in Fusion, you can just select this geometry and then choose mirror. So like S key mirror here, and Fusion automatically picks up on that center line because it's the only center line in the sketch. So it's just kind of like a nice shortcut that you can use there. Whoops, I think I accidentally grabbed the edges of the part there too. Just wanted that rectangle. But yeah, that's a kind of a cool trick you can do. If you make that a center line, Fusion will automatically pick up on that when you jump into a mirror command. So now the final dimension I need to add here, S key dimension, is going to be the dimension from here to here. So you guys can see I really use the S key a lot. I'm used to it from other CAD systems, and it just kind of puts all my most common commands on one toolbar. And that really makes it easy for me to navigate through Fusion and feel like I'm really learning this Fusion. All right, so I'm gonna hit escape here, and then I'm gonna make sure that this point and this point are horizontal to one another. Still seeing some blue lines here, interestingly. Let's see if I grab this and go to move it. Now let's try that again. This point and the origin, make those horizontal. There we go. Nice fully defined sketch there. That's what we wanted. Okay, and so now we're going to select this region, hold control, select this region here, and then we're going to jump into an extrude command, S key extrude, and you'll notice again, if we drag this up, it makes a boss. If we drag it down, it makes a cut. I know I'm not defining this cut. I could define it as like up to face and have it go to that inside face, but I could also just make it a number that's, you know, that's reasonably safe. And although it's not the most parametrically sound, for the most part, I don't think this wall thickness is ever going to exceed 10 millimeters. So I think that's fine. I'm going to give that a pass. Okay. So now that we've have got kind of that plastic shape done, now we're ready to move on to those prongs. And like I said, to create those prongs, what I'd probably do is start by picking this face and creating an offset plane relative to that face. And that's going to be offset up at 16.2. And there we go, 16.2 to the top of that prong. And enter, and then I'm going to choose that sketch, and I'm going to plane and begin a new sketch. Choose that plane and begin a new sketch. And then for this plane here, for this sketch here, what I could do is I could just make a rectangle and make it coincident to this point, coincident to this point. Or I could also maybe select these edges here and select these edges here and then use like a project. I could even do it with the entire face. So I can go in here to create, and then I could do a project include, and I could do a project. And now you can see I've got these 8 things selected, and I choose OK. And the result there is that now I've got those entities here on my new sketch. So I selected all those entities, did a project, and now I've got this region here and this region here that I can select or control select. And then I could do S key extrude, and I can turn that into a solid. So I can extrude this. This is actually going to go down in this direction. So it's going to be negative, and it's going to be 19.2. That's going to be my total projection depth. And then here for the operation, I want to make sure that I change this to a new body. So change that to a new body and choose OK. And the reason that's important is because these bodies here are going to have a different material from this body down here. These are going to be made out of that metal, that plain carbon steel. Yeah, a bit like Convert in SolidWorks. Exactly. FBB Kev in the chat says a bit like Convert in SolidWorks. So now what I can do is I can take this face here, and I can choose to begin a new sketch on that face. And what I'm going to be sketching there is going to be that arc and that circle. So maybe I'll start with the circle. You can kind of drop in a circle here like so, and that's going to be at 3.1 for that hole. And then we'll add a dimension here from this edge of the part to that center point of that circle, and that's going to be 12 millimeters. Okay, and we'll escape. It's still looking blue to me, so look at that. I'm missing the vertical relationship there to the origin. So I could, let's see here, pick the origin, hold control, pick this point, let go of control, vertical. There we go. That's what we wanted. And then we're going to create our arc here. So we'll do an arc here. We'll do this as a 3-point arc, and we'll take this, this, and this. And then we'll hit escape. We'll take this point and this point, hold control and pick them and make them horizontal. Hit escape. And then we'll take this line and this arc by holding control and make them tangent. And then we'll S key dimension and we'll add in a dimension here to this point at a distance of 0.9. Nice fully defined sketch there as well. And now what we can do is we can hit escape and we can pick this region, and this region. And then we can S key extrude. And once again, we can either add material or remove material depending on which direction we drag it. So we're going to remove that material. This one could probably be a through all or an all, and okay. And there we go. Let's go. Let's go. And so I think that does it for the geometry of this thing. I think the only thing left to do is to assign the materials. So there's a few ways you can do this, but one way is you can hold control and you can select these bodies here, and then you can right click and say physical material right on the body. And now we can go in here to our library and say we want to go to the TooTallToby library. We can grab that plain carbon steel and drag and drop it onto those bodies. And we could say close. And then we can go to this other body here, right click, and we can say physical material. And then we can take this plastic, so ABS plastic here, and we can drag and drop that onto just this body here. Okay, and close. And once we do that, we should, hold on a second, these look a little bit, did I not get it on this one? Hold on a second. I think I might have, for some reason, I feel like I might have not gotten it on this one. Physical material. It looks like I got it. Yeah, pink carbon steel. That one. Yeah, we're good. Sweet. So now that we've got all those materials in place, now we can right click here at the top of the part. We can go to properties, and that should give us the mass of that entire multi-body part here in Fusion. So 12.60. So let's try that here in the app. So 12.60 and enter. And oh no, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. We did not get it correct there. So something is off here. Something is wrong. So let's go take a look. Let's go see if we can't figure out what is wrong. But 12.6 was not correct. We did not get it on the first try this time. So let's see if we got it wrong. It says wrong ABS, says Jern in the chat. Let's take a look. Maybe that's what it is. So we'll go back to this main body here. Right click. We'll say physical material. Did I grab the wrong ABS? Did I grab ABS plastic instead of TTT? I did. Thank you, Jern. There we go. That's it. So it has a different material density. So make sure that you get that correct TTT ABS there. And let's go to our properties again. So we'll go here to the properties of this part. And 12.2304. See if that works any better. This is one of my favorite things about the app is that if you get it wrong, you just right away keep trying it yourself. Troubleshoot yourself, right? 12.2304, and yes, we did it. Nice. So we got the point there. Shout out to Jern. Thank you, Jern. That is eagle eye. You've got an eagle eye there, and we did get it correct there, 12.23. And that is your Fusion tutorial for that USB wall charger. If you're ever trying to design a case, you know, a new case to carry around your gear when you're on the road, it's really valuable to learn how to kind of custom model your own parts, your own physical real world parts. If you're going to build a case for this thing, you know, you want to make sure that it's going to fit in there properly. And there's been plenty of times where I've done that. I've you know, designed a real world part to make a case to retrofit something to it. And then I've thought to myself, oh, you know what might be cool? You know, if I added this here, if I added that there. And the only reason I realized that is because I saw the part in my 3D CAD system. So this is a really valuable activity, learning how to model real world parts. It's a big part of our strategy here at TooTallToby.com. And if you enjoyed that tutorial, be sure to hit the like button on this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. And wow, while we were modeling that, let's see here, 24 people successfully solved this model. And this model just came out a few minutes ago. So let's see who was able